Movie studios are always trying to court the teenage and young adult demographics, and in 2006, 20th Century Fox started a division to produce films specifically catered to them, consisting mostly of horror films and comedies. That was Fox Atomic, a label that may not immediately ring any bells, and there's a reason for that. I'll even confess that I've not seen any of the movies that were released under that label, although to be fair, it did not put out many films. Fox Atomic began under Peter Rice, who was running Fox Searchlight at the time, and John Hegeman, who had just come from Lionsgate. Hegeman's hiring was particularly important due to his role in marketing several hit horror movies at Lionsgate and his viral marketing campaign for the Blair Witch Project when he was at Artisan. The goal of Fox Atomic was to make low-budget films, also cut back on advertising spends by relying heavily on the internet. The first film released by Fox Atomic was the horror movie Touristas, which caused quite a bit of controversy in Brazil. Brazilians felt the film would create a negative image of the country and alienate potential visitors, with even the Ministry of Tourism weighing in. However, despite its $10 million budget, the movie ended up flopping and quickly vanished from theaters, and in the end likely had no effect on the country's tourism rate. The Hills of Ice 2, which was released only a year after the previous film, did okay, although saw a major drop in attendance and became the last film in that franchise. The first genuine hit to come out of Fox Atomic was 28 Weeks Later, the sequel to the zombie film 28 Days Later. It received decent reviews from critics and pulled in solid numbers at the box office. One snag that hit the label was with a planned remake of Revenge of the Nerds, directed by Kyle Newman. The first problem arose when the original filming location, Emory University in Atlanta, decided not to allow the filmmakers to use it after reading the script. It then moved to the nearby Agnes Scott College, but after 2 weeks of filming, production was stopped entirely when Peter Rice watched the dailies and did not like what had been filmed so far. So yes, sitting somewhere now in the Disney archives are 2 weeks worth of footage from an unfinished Revenge of the Nerds remake. Even though it was not labeled as a Fox Atomic film, the division handled the publicity and marketing for James Wan's action movie Death Sentence. Bizarre, I know. Not that it helped the movie at the box office, and it sort of gives the impression that Fox just passed it off to their marketing departments to decrease the advertising spend. Even though it started off handling horror and thriller films, Fox Atomic eventually turned to comedies, although these did not reverse its fortunes. The first comedy was The Comebacks, a spoof of sports movies. Critics hated it, and the film did not make much of a dent at the box office. Next came The Rocker, starring Rainn Wilson as a washed-up drummer. Even though this movie was given an incredibly wide release, playing on over 2,700 screens, it ended up at number 13 on its opening weekend. So, unsurprisingly, most theaters were very quick to drop it. The next attempt was with Miss March, a movie from the Wydus Cugino comedy troupe. Critics despised the film, and it was also largely ignored by audiences when it was released, with theater owners happily removing it from their screens as soon as they possibly could. The final Fox Atomic release would come out only 2 weeks after Miss March. That was the action movie 12 Rounds with John Cena. This one also did not do much business, but it was at least really low budget and did better than those last films I mentioned. I know that's not a particularly high bar, but points for trying? With this string of flops, it's probably little surprise 20th Century Fox decided to shut down the division, although the writing was already on the wall when their marketing team was transferred to the main Fox unit and Fox Searchlight. John Hegeman had also jumped ship to New Regency, and Rupert Murdoch would choose Peter Rice to run the Fox network. Meanwhile, the films in production would drop the Fox Atomic name and just be released under 20th Century Fox. One was I Love You, Beth Cooper, directed by Chris Columbus, which was panned by critics and performed poorly at the box office. Years later, Columbus revealed that it was the movie he most regretted making, while writer Larry Dole did not care for the notes he was given by Fox executives, which he felt toned down his screenplay. Another was Postgrad, which was similarly disliked, ended up performing like a typical Fox Atomic film, opening at number 11 and then fading away. Then there was the horror comedy Jennifer's Body, which Fox Atomic had a lot of confidence in. Diablo Cody's screenplay was purchased after Juno made a splash at film festivals, and Karen Kusama was hired to direct, with Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried playing the lead roles. When it ended up at 20th Century Fox, they did not seem to know what to do with it. Diablo Cody has said that she tried to convince the higher-ups at Fox to market the movie primarily to a female audience, as that's who she wrote it for, but they decided to try and court boys by focusing on Megan Fox's sex appeal. Jennifer's Body pulled in underwhelming numbers at the box office, so maybe Cody had a point. The film initially received mixed reviews from critics, but over time it has grown a more appreciative audience that has praised the film's feminist themes and who enjoy the darkly comic tone. Finally, The Sitter, which was initially picked up by Fox Atomic as a spec script, ended up being produced by the main Fox label with Jonah Hill starring. So in the end, why did Fox Atomic not work out? I think the biggest problem was it just seemed redundant. These kinds of horror movies and comedies already being released under 20th Century Fox and Fox Searchlight, without an additional label attached. There was also the feeling that these were movies Fox did not see as a top priority for them. For example, in the summer of 2008, they seemed to push movies like The Happening, The X-Files I Want to Believe, What Happens in Vegas, and even Space Chimps a lot more than they did The Rocker, which was quietly slotted into one of the late August dates on the same day as Sony's more highly publicized comedy The House Bunny and a week after Tropic Thunder. Then there was the idea to use the internet as the main marketing arm. When Fox Atomic started in 2006, YouTube was still in its infancy, as were social media networks like Facebook and MySpace. Twitter was not even a year old yet. Nowadays, the internet has become much more of a marketing tool for movie studios, but back then you still needed the traditional outlets to help drum publicity and excitement. Then you have the projects picked up by Fox Atomic, which did not seem to stand out to potential ticket buyers, and as you saw, 28 weeks later was the only one critics were all that enthusiastic about. For a few of those, Fox did not even screen them for reviewers in advance. 28 weeks later, Miss March and then Jennifer's Body are also the only ones that were able to maintain some sort of following in the years since. In the end, Fox Atomic was an experiment that did not quite work out and will likely remain one of the more obscure footnotes in the history of 20th Century Fox. See you next time.